Hey everybody, I have mastered this technology. I'm Roberta Glass, and tonight I'm just going to try something new. I'm going to dish about true crime. I wondered if anybody saw the latest, I'm not sure if it now is the latest article in the Frank Report, but a recent article in the Frank Report about Claire Bronfman, who she is confined. She's out on bail. She's confined to her apartment most of the time, except to exercise. She has like these stipulations in her bail package. So she took a trip. She got permission to take a trip to Clifton Park, and we knew nothing good was going to come of that Clifton Park trip. But lo and behold, if she isn't stupid enough, I mean, I hate to call people stupid. I'm not calling her stupid. I'm just saying it's a stupid move. A stupid move to sign legal papers again, trying to sue the Frank Report and signing legal papers where you have to write the date and you have a witness and everything. So she was meeting with her lawyer to see how she can sue the Frank Report to shut them up. And if you think Scientology sues a lot, Scientology has nothing on Claire Bronfman as far as using the legal to punish and wear down her enemies. So that was quite amazing that she was so silly not to have a record of it, to make a record of her transgressions. So anyway, I have a treat for you guys tonight. I am just always amazed that those who do true crime videos, some of them are great, but some of them have what I would consider zero sense of pride. And the research that they do consists of watching a biased documentary. And my favorite YouTuber of this genre has to be Casey Martinez. Does anyone know her? Let me see if anyone else is familiar. If anyone else is familiar with her, she really came on the scene after Making a Murderer. She was very flamboyant with a gravelly voice, and she swears a lot, and she's like keeping it real. And but she, lo and behold, I was like, thinking to myself, watching these Making Murderer videos that she did, because they're really, all I can say is they're really unpleasant. She's an extremely unpleasant person. No one you'd want to bump into in real life. And I was thinking, wow, this really reminds me of some of the worst of the West Memphis 3 supporters. So it wasn't long before she did a West Memphis 3 video. So let's listen to this together and let's see how many factual inaccuracies we can get. So here we go.
Talking about a case that's actually very close to my heart.
Oh, it's close to her heart.
I have been a massive supporter of this case, for the last 15 years, if not more. And this case should be relatively familiar to anybody who...
15 years. This woman's been a supporter for 15 years. Not troubled at all by Jesse Miss Kelly's 6+ confessions. That doesn't trouble her at all. Or maybe Damien Eccles' Exhibit 500. No, clearly the documentary, especially the second one. Let's talk about the second documentary. There's 3 West Memphis 3 documentaries. And the second one, they go after another stepfather, John Mark Byers, right? But now all the supporters have just magically forgotten that they ever went after him. And it's all Terry Hobbs. So let's listen. It's close to her heart. Let's go on, Casey Martinez.
Pays attention to the true crime genre And that would be the case of the West Memphis Three. And yes, we have been wanting to get our hands on the West Memphis Three case for quite some time now.
We, the royal we. She speaks in the royal we too. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Casey Martinez. Apparently there's more than one of her, or maybe she means the royal we in that she consists of multitudes. We don't know.
One of the main reasons being that it is just, there wasn't even the planting of evidence in this fucking case. It was just bullshit. And okay, so for those of you that are not completely 100% aware of,
it was so much bullshit that 2 different juries convicted them. One for Jesse Miskelly and another jury Baldwin and Eccles. That's how much bullshit it was. They just held up a black T-shirt, and that's. Yeah, I know. They just held up a black T-shirt, and they said, "This is our evidence. These guys listen to heavy metal and wear black. Please convict them." And they did. That's how. That's really what supporters think. How they think it went down. That's how unbelievable they are. They think that actually could happen in a courtroom. So here we go.
The West Memphis Three. You can catch up on what's going on there with the 3 Paradise Lost documentaries. And I believe that the movie The Devil's Knot is based on the case. Now, the West Memphis Three.
Let's talk about The Devil's Knot, Mara Leverett's book. That book implicates John Mark Byers because that was all the vogue for West Memphis Three supporters at the time. And Mara Leverett, one of the greatest things that came out of Eccles' locker, his storage locker that he didn't pay for, was an advance copy from Mara Leverett. So they were friends. She was deeply embedded in the defense. And once again, she presents herself like she was just a objective reporter, right? Okay, go on, Casey.
It's a really hard case. It's a hard case on many, many levels. So let me give you some really quick background. On May 5th of 1993, 3 8-year-old boys by the name of Stephen Branch, Michael Moore, and Christopher Byers were found on the creek bank of the Robin Hood Hills area of West Memphis, Arkansas. And this, the Robin Hood Hills is like this little.
We got to give her credit. That is accurate. Okay, go on, Casey.
Area behind the Blue Beacon truck stop. That's like right off the highway. And
why is she bringing up the truck stop? She's saying that it's a nefarious area where lots of potential suspects could be found for this case, when really it was right across from Damien Eccles' old apartment. He lived across from that area for years, but of course he lies about that too. Okay, go on.
And I'm going to try not to go into too much detail because it's fucking brutal. They were found naked, hogtied, beaten, and mutilated to death. And for whatever fucking reason that, still, even all these years later, is not completely 100% clear to me, 3 teenage boys were arrested. Those teenage boys are Damien.
Yeah, percent clear to her because she doesn't bother reading maybe the case files or the court documents. Still unclear as to what happened, why these guys who seem so totally innocent from the documentaries, why they got convicted. It's puzzling to her.
Jesse Miskelly Jr. and Jason Baldwin. And these gentlemen, at the time, Damien was 18, Jesse Miskelly Jr. was 17, and Jason Baldwin, I believe, was 16 at the time of the murder. Now, mind everybody, I have a 15-year-old son, and he's actually not too far away from turning 16. And, he's got the blonde, curly hair and just, that sort of goofy, gawky awkwardness that comes with being 15.
He's goofy and awkward. Wow. Maybe she should keep him locked up because he could get arrested for child murder just walking down the street. I hope he doesn't have any black t-shirts.
Jesse, or I'm sorry, not Jesse. He resembles Jason Baldwin on many levels from that time frame. And
Betty doesn't represent Jesse Misskelley because he's the snitch. They don't want to talk about him too much because he keeps confessing. Okay, come on.
And so I'm very, very protective of the West Memphis Three. Mama Bear comes out. And the thing...
Mama Bear doesn't count 8-year-old boys that were killed just for the child killers. Mama Bear gets all cuddly for the child killers.
Is that these 3 young boys were found, and here's the thing. Okay, so I start rewatching the West Memphis 3 documentary, Paradise Lost, the first one. It's been years since I've seen it. And as a matter of fact, this video goes out to my very dear friend Neil. Neil's the one who introduced me to this case and to these documentaries many, many years ago. So thanks, Neil. Maybe I should order a pizza and grab a 6-pack of Cherry Coke to watch with this, just in memory. So Paradise Lost starts out with this, horse shit of a case. And I got about halfway through the first documentary, and I got so fucking angry that I had to stop in the middle of it and do a video because I'm like, ugh.
So that's reasonable. She gets halfway through a documentary. She doesn't bother to maybe read the court records or check it out. Maybe factually check it out next time, Casey. Maybe you won't be so angry. And poor Neil. Hi, everybody.
So at some, just in the first little tidbit, like the entrance of this fucking documentary is some voiceover from some guy saying, I see no reason, I see no motive for why those 3 boys were murdered. Now, mind you guys, this happened in 1993. This is when this satanic panic was enveloping the country. Okay? Everything was viewed as being
wrong again. Wrong again, Casey. When this case was tried, it was the mid-90s. Satanic panic, decade earlier. Sorry. And, satanic panic, once again, was, I think, journalists came up with to get child molesters off. But that's my own personal opinion. We'll go on, Casey. But she thinks this was satanic panic. Why? Because that's what the documentary said. It's amazing. Like, just put it on the documentary. These idiots will spit it out.
Satanic cult responsibility. I mean, just it fucking exploded. It was terrifying. The entire country was in satanic panic. So keep that in mind as we go through this case.
Everyone was in satanic panic.
Now, there were some very important figures. There was Chief Inspector Gary Gitchell, who you will hear me talk nothing but shit about. He is right up there with Uyghur folks. Then there is there's Pam Hobbs, whose son, Stephen Branch, was one of the boys killed. I find it really odd that when the reporter is talking to her, she's like giggling and smiling, and she's like tripping out that she's going to be on TV. And I'm going, that's a little weird, but okay. And the reporter asked Pam, have you contemplated joining Stevie? What the fuck kind of question is that to ask a fucking grieving parent, you piece of shit? Now, folks, what you got to remember is that
she is the height of sensitivity, isn't she? As you can see, she's a really sensitive person. Very touching.
Arkansas is like right fucking smack dead center in the middle of the Bible Belt. So anybody like listening to Metallica and being very occultish is like just fuck on so many levels down there. Now, what you have to understand is that this case is very similar to the Stephen Avery case because there's one individual involved that is very similar to the other, and that would be Jesse Miss Kelly Jr. Jesse Miss Kelly Jr. was 17 at the time of the murders and at the time of his questioning, and he had an IQ of 72 at that time.
No, we
Sound
didn't.
familiar?
No, we didn't. He did. He had a low average, I think it was low borderline IQ, and then the second IQ, the 72 IQ, it was showed malingering, meaning to the death penalty. Okay, keep going, Casey.
It should. Hi, Brendan Dassey, 20 years before. Now, his trial was held in Corning, Arkansas, which is in Clay County. It's about 110 miles away. And David Burnett was the presiding judge. You're going to hear me talk a lot of shit about that boy, too. There was just something wrong with him. John Fogelman was the deputy prosecutor, so let's call him our Kratz for this case. Fogelman. You're going to hear me bitch a lot about him because there was just something wrong with that boy. During the opening statement of Jesse Miss Kelly's trial, he's standing there and like the camera's really close to him. He's got like a vein bulging right here, and I'm going, you overdose on the steroids there too much, Fogelman?
There's something wrong with the judge and the prosecutor. They're just not right. They're terrible people, but the child killers are fabulous. She feels very protective towards them. Probably not so much Miss Kelly. We're going to hold on for that later, but she feels very protective, but she just senses that there's something wrong with someone who would like to convict 3 teenagers or 2 teenagers and 1 young adult who killed 3 8-year-old boys. Something wrong with those people who are seeking justice for the victims.
Now, Dan Stidham is Jesse Miss Kelly's defense attorney. He is fabulous. He's very sweet, and he's working his ass off for his client. I mean, just an amazing guy. Now, with Jesse Miss Kelly, what you have to understand is that he was interrogated for upwards of 12 hours. 12 hours.
Make that 2.5. This is just the lies. Just lie. Just lie blatantly. They had to wait around for his dad to get there. But when he was finally questioned, it went for 2.5 hours. Okay. But that's 12.5. Amanda Knox also had a similar terrible interrogation. Supposedly, that was not a long or brutal interrogation. But that's how what you have to do when you have a defendant or a convicted person who has confessed. And you're making up PR for them. Okay. There's a lot of similarities between making a murderer. There's just none of the ones that she's making. Biased documentary, leaving out evidence, 2 sociopaths, Damien Eccles, Stephen Avery. There are a lot of similarities, just not the ones she's making.
They basically browbeat this kid into confessing. At several points during the course of the confession, they're showing him pictures of the dead bodies of the children. And, obviously that's going to fuck with him. And the thing is that, they bring on his stepmother who came into his life when he was about 4. And she was talking about, he was so attached to her. And in fact, it's his stepmother that gets, that persuades him to not testify against Damien and Jason. Because she told him, I'm going to be in that courtroom. If you testify, I'm going to be in that courtroom, and you're going to have to tell that lie, knowing that I'm sitting there listening to it. I love this woman. She's fucking awesome.
No, and no. God, I love the things they make up. And not only, so say, who repeats a lot, who keeps confessing multiple times against their best interest in all sorts of different environments? He got into the police car and confessed all the way to the policeman, all the way to jail. That's just one of the many. They don't like to talk about that, though, and I guarantee you she won't. We're almost to the end of this. I know it offends your Zen. I love that comment. It offends my Zen, too. All right, we're almost at the end. Here we go.
But the part that really pissed me off so far, and I know that this seems really scattered. I'm gathering my thoughts.
The child killing? The child killing pissed her off? No.
Gathering my thoughts, filtering them down, distilling them into an awesome liquid to throw at y'all. The part that pissed me off is when they bring on the occult expert. Who the fuck is this asshole? His name is Dr.
Griffiths.
Dale Griffiths. He's the prosecution's expert on the occult. Yeah, bullshit. And the prosecutor Fogelman asks him, "What have you noticed seems to be the mode of dress for cults and whatnot?" And he tells him black males, hair not dyed, painted black t-shirts, and they tattoo themselves. Well, fuck, throw me in jail, Griffiths, Fogelman, bring it, bitch, because I cover all of those. And so does my husband, and so does my son. My son would probably trip y'all the fuck out. But I think the worst part about it is when this Griffiths asshole is talking. Okay, Fogelman asks him, "Do you notice any occult overtones in these murders?" And Griffiths answers, "Well, the date of the murders is close to Beltane." You, Griffiths. Beltane is the Wiccan. It's a fertility rite, sacrifice or any. There's no death celebrated in that. It's a fertility thing. It's renewal. You fucking asshole. He says some occult groups will use a full moon. That's not occult groups. That's nature worship, asshole. We'll take blood and store it for other use or consume it or bathe in it. So we're back in like medieval Hungary? The fuck are you talking about, Griffiths?
Although Damien Eccles himself was obsessed with licking blood, drinking blood. His girlfriend said, "I drink blood. My Bob drinks blood. We all drink blood." Oh, and Damien Eccles was into the occult, and that's the thing he lies most about because it is connected to the crime. And most nuns wouldn't talk about that because it made them look like they were in a satanic panic. But it is an element of the case. It doesn't mean that Damien Eccles had any magical powers. He just was mentally ill, believed he did. He was a sociopath. He wrote himself he was a sociopath and a homicidal right before the murders. His own mother had gotten him institutionalized multiple times, troubled. I don't think I can take anymore. I don't really even think my listeners can really, my friends out there can take any more of this. But it'll give you an idea. It's interesting that she knows so much about Wicca and the occult, and she can correct him. But Griffiths, Dr. Dale Griffiths, really was knowledgeable about that subject. He had worked with different police departments in occult murders. I think he had been out there who knows this detail better than I do. I believe he had been to that area and warned them that there was cult, possibly going to be an occult motivated crime in that area. Warned the police before, I think a year or two before it actually went down. And if you listen to the confessions of Miss Kelly, that was those Baldwin, Miss Kelly, and Eccles were all into getting together, differently into it. But it was a group that met and that practiced the occult. So it wasn't just all black T-shirts, Oh, the truth. Anyway, so hopefully, I just wanted to get on and I don't know, blow off some steam. I really don't think I can. All right, I'm going to play 1 second. I don't think I can do 1 second more. I really don't think I can take 1 second more. Can you imagine her being a mother of a child and like on the PTA or something? would you avoid that woman like the plague or what? That's the kind of person that I avoid in life. And the word unpleasant pops up multiple times, but I just wanted to get on and see if I could actually do this. Hopefully, we'll get to part two of Making a Murderer soon. I'm really looking forward to that. No one knows more about that case than I know of than Meredith Elizabeth, and really looking forward to talking with her about it. And hopefully, we can work out. Thank you, everybody, for not mentioning the sound. I'm trying to work that out. So this was just like a little test to get on and say hello. I hope everybody has a great week, and I will see you back again here soon. Okay. Thanks for listening, everybody. Have a good night.